It started.
Okay. Okay, hello everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm here today, and what I'll do first of all is just give you all a little introduction to myself, a very brief one. And my name's Clay Smith. I'm a fellow artist too, and I'm here to have a conversation with Jenny Bramley, stroke interview.
Thank you.
Very nice. And so we'll get straight into it.
Thank you, Clay, and thanks for interrogating me like this
My
on
pleasure.
a nice sunny afternoon. And thanks to Artcore for inviting me to come on to their Facebook page. And if you spot the dog, it's Harry and Ralph, so we hope they behave themselves.
This one's Harry
With the dog.
with the doll. Ralph's underneath the table.
Okay.
Okay, so let's begin this. You came from an accountancy background. About 5 years ago, you left accountancy and you went straight into the art world. 5 years, you've gone through foundation, you did your degree, and last year you graduated from your master's.
That's right.
5 years of education. So tell me a little bit about that process. That time.
It was a little bit of a career change. So I'd sort of gone into accountancy from school and I enjoyed it. But as things change in life sometimes, I found myself sort of at the end of a redundancy letter, and it was something that I thought about, going to art school, and it stayed with me. I didn't do that right there and then because I didn't really have a portfolio. I didn't really have any experience, so I carried on accounting for about another 5 years, and then when I came out of that job, following another redundancy, I thought this is a great time. I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to take some time out to create a portfolio, and that's what I did. So I went to foundation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Didn't want that to end, and so I went to University of Derby. Still didn't want it to end, so I've just completed a master's.
And it didn't end. 5 years, a lot of time, continuously. You didn't take no time off, nothing.
No, crazy.
So the whole, so your interest in that has always been there.
Yeah, I think so.
So 5 years of art education. You just graduated last year, and so you must have developed quite a practice in such an educational setting. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your practice?
Well, it's changed quite a bit over the last 5 years, and I guess probably. I'm just going to say as well, if anyone's got any questions and we don't pick them up straight away, we'll address it at sort of towards the end of the talk. We should be here for about 20 minutes. So it's. I think I probably started to really focus down on our practice this last year, probably just towards the end of the BA and during the course of the MA, and I was very much more focused on sort of a specific process. I was very interested. People kept telling me you're obsessed with the process, and I accepted that. Eventually, I sort of accepted that, and instead of trying to create images, I decided to just go with the process, and then I decided to use simple materials which I've been using, which are sellotape and carbon paper, and my simple process was taking strips of sellotape, attaching it to the sellotape, to this carbon paper, ripping it off, and placing it on the wall of a building or on surfaces, which I then developed into a larger scale, more durational, and videoing myself doing that work, so it sort of became a bit more performative.
So it's always an in situ thing. So it's installation. Would you say you was an installation artist?
And I think possibly on a couple of occasions, the last few pieces of work that I've done have probably that's the installation. Yeah.
Well, I've seen your artwork, and I'm very impressed. And to view your artwork, I would use the words installation. I think it was an installation. I think it was also definitely mark making. But the way you make your marks is very sellotape stripping over. You're not actually touching anything really to make the marks. Whatever's making the marks has been touched by the sellotape. So that's a sort of transfer process we're talking about. So those are the kind of words I've used: map making, definitely. Drawing, perhaps.
Yeah, I think this is sort of an extension of drawing.
Yeah.
To the normal way that, perhaps not normal way, but what we traditionally think of as drawing. I think it's an extension to that. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So what other words would you associate with your artwork, or what other people may have said?
Yeah. Well, I always like to try and reflect on my work, but I'm always interested in what the viewer has to say. So I tend to take those comments, and usually sometimes they can give me more to think about. So other words that I've either come up with, so I've been interested in the idea of the remnants and the residue of the materials that I'm using, so the marks that are being made and then the pieces of paper that are being left behind. And there's obviously, I'm applying it to the building, I'm looking at the architecture, I want to look at the space. I often look at dominant features in the space. So, for instance, a dominant feature on one of my pieces of work was windows, and that was quite a dominant feature at Modley Street at Derby. And so I did quite a large installation. And other things that other people have said, I think there's like a time. There's this time aspect of sort of removing that ink from the paper at that moment in time, that sort of spontaneous act, and placing it then for viewers to view at a later date and perhaps wonder how those marks were made and why are those marks being made.
So during the process, so whilst you're doing this, are you thinking about an end product, or is the process of doing it just as important as what is the end result is the creation of your artwork? So is the process more important? I mean, obviously you're really involved doing that because it sounds quite meditative, repetitive. So when do you think about the observer or the viewer? Like for example, me, when I'm looking at it, when do you think about the importance of that whilst you're making it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do you just completely?
Well, I am actually in the process, so I'm not. I suppose in a way I have sort of predetermined where I do make some decisions on where I'm going to place my work and perhaps how long I'm going to spend on it, because those sort of things could be constrained by galleries.
It's time and things like that.
But the actual process, I don't always try and think. I'm not really trying to think what I'm doing. So I've got a predetermined. Yeah, I've got rolls of sellotape. I work through them. I time myself. I record at sort of at the end. I actually have my phone on every hour. I make a note of what I've used in all of the materials, not just sellotape, cardboard as well. And at the end of the day, I would post that on social media, and that would be sort of the pause in the process. And at the end of the work, that would be the title. I'm not sure if I answered your question now.
I think so. I'm just kind of curious. So you kind of really sort of merge yourself into it. You don't really think about it, because it's the process and things like that. But do you gather any research before you make your work? Do you make any research studies before or after you make your work? So what research do you undertake to develop?
What I've tried to do, so rather than, I've started to come out of the studio. I suppose that is one of the big areas. So not behind closed doors, strange thing to say in this time, but so I did sort of 4 experimental pieces of work which took me out of the studio and started introducing them to be in a public space, or more public space. So that was a development that, and to work in situ with people to sort of walk past and make comments, which they do, or talk to me, so to see the artist at work. I get a lot from that as well. So that's one of the ways that I've tried to develop my practice, is actually making it about working in situ with different environments. So I'm taking the same process, I'm taking the same materials, but I'm going into different environments.
Even the studio.
Yeah.
Studio spaces, I guess, for most people are quite safe. Myself, my studio is quite restricted. I'm an outside worker too. Working outdoors as opposed to working indoors, how does that affect your outlook over the space itself? Do you feel like you're being observed more than what the past?
It was definitely a bit of a change for me, coming from just working on my own, or perhaps with other art students, to actually going into areas where people are walking through. As I said, Market Street, I also had to work at Circus Gallery, and where I'd actually produced the work. Now, it wasn't the public, but it was the curator, it was the volunteers, the other artists. So I sort of gradually tried to push myself into that area. And I think the other thing is about working in the studio, or keeping the work where it was made. There's I feel there's a sincerity to the work, and having it in the place that it was made. But sometimes in a studio, you make the work, you take it out of the studio, and place it somewhere. But that's just my. Well, I don't think it's not just my opinion. That's research that.
The dynamics are completely different now. If you make something in the studio and you take it outside to wherever it is, you make it somewhere else, it changes it. So you make your work, it's in situ, you find you're going into spaces. Who are your influences? Have been influenced by any artists?
Yeah, and the great thing about studying is being introduced and being able to research and find out about other artists. So you don't necessarily know about, you don't necessarily realise you're doing something a little bit like them, or you've got the same sort of concepts. Yeah, we've put some videos, and I don't think we'd have some sort of pictures, and it's quite shiny, so we may have to put those. Yeah, and it's quite small, but I'll tell you what these are and try and post them on the Facebook later.
So these are your artist influences?
Yeah, so I've got Robert Morris, and he was quite an influence. So I looked into this continuous project, Altered Daily, where I might have to refer to some notes. It's in an essay called Antiform in his book, Continuous Project, Altered Daily, and it was actually a piece of work that he did. But he wrote about it. He was discussing the differences between process and object art. So he was very interested in the process and investigating materials and how they were used and how they reacted. And one of the things he said was processes are left visible to see, whereas in object art the process is often hidden, but the materials are not. I may have slightly worded that myself, but that struck a chord with me. The process, the fact that I'm working through a process.
So the process is very important.
Process is important.
You take a lot of influences from people who use the same sort of process as yourself.
Yeah, well, I can. When you come across these people, you're introduced to them, and you can look at how they've worked, and then how they work through that. It sort of makes you feel that there's a visibility, perhaps, to your work.
You're doing something right.
Yeah. So another artist.
No, Richard Serra.
Is Richard Serra, who he was very much worked with process. I was one of my favourite artists to start looking at with his Splash and Cast series, and so he actually malted the lead, threw into a corner of a room in a gallery, and then he just left it to solidify, and that was his work. It's called splashings or castings, And the reason his work was of interest to me, I made a few notes on here. The book by Bucko, called Richard Serra, was that he was very focused on using film to document his processes. So I took that and used it to video my work. I photographed it as well, but I was also interested in video and live streaming it. And my third artist is Daniel Burren, and I only sort of came across him recently, and he's often called the Stripes guy and he works in situ, so that was why I was really interested. But his process, because again it's a process, he takes 8.7 centimetre stripes and he places it directly onto the surface of the wall within an architectural space. And he's been doing this for the past 5 decades, so I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, I like Daniel Bramley. His work seems to reflect yours a little bit better on the aesthetics, I guess, on the application.
Yeah.
I like Sarah splashes his stuff, so he kind of almost rather accidentally making it. Yours isn't so accidental. It's like block down by hand. With the block processes behind there. It can be quite accidental. So you're not quite too sure what you're making until you stand back and look at it. Sometimes it's a big installation and go back and finish the rest. Anyway, so okay. But my next question is: do you have any examples of recent work? Which I presume
I think that's what I do, and they're on there. And I think probably the best thing I probably mentioned them actually. University of Derby Surface Gallery. I'll put a few photographs on the post in a little while because I think we're running out of. I feel like I'm taking too much time. We've got some questions
and the
left
light's
yet.
Not very great either. Okay, so you recently went to India.
Yeah, we've got to talk about India, haven't we?
India,
How have we got this far and not spoken about India
Well,
yet?
India is very important, I think, because it's you left the studio, you went out, saw in situ installation, things like that, and then you went to India.
And I've just finished university, so I'd come out of university, and it was one of my first projects. So
you went straight to
I was pretty happy with that.
And it was near Christmas as well, last year.
It was near Christmas,
okay.
But not quite near Christmas. But yes, it was quite Christmas.
But that was brilliant. You was there for 2 weeks?
I was there for 2 weeks. Yeah, and there's 3 British artists and 7 Indian artists. And we all came together. It was called Winter Narratives. It was organised by Artcore, and we were very lucky to be. Well, we're in Baroda in India, and we worked at our residence that took place at Highness Farm, and Hart, who was an absolutely wonderful host to us all, looked after us, and everyone on the site looked after us every day. So
you was busy.
It was a very busy, brilliant experience.
But you was there to make artwork.
We were there to make artwork.
Because you had an exhibition at the end of it. And you was also there, was it a research study based as well? Was it so much, was it that, or was it just making artwork, specific?
I guess there were options really to be in India. I mean, what I set out to do was to take my existing process and work into a outside international context environment and see, and just can I do that? I mean, does it work? Can I actually just take it? And it did, actually. Yeah.
I guess you wouldn't know until you were out there.
Sorry?
I guess you wouldn't know until you were out there.
No, I wouldn't have known it. I did do other things whilst I was there, and I did experiment, a few experimental things. But I did actually go to the site, find several spaces where I could work, and carried out my process, videoed it. And so I actually chose a man-made structure on the site, which was a mirror tile bar area. And so I spent some of my time doing my sellotape transfer onto that structure whilst videoing it. I mean, the difference, I was doing the same process in a way, I can do that anywhere really, couldn't I?
Well,
not India.
You did it at the University of Derby in the windows. I was looking to mention about India, artist Howard Hutchins. He goes to, he used to go to, but he was influenced by the light. You mentioned that a few times during the TV actors, I think. I saw it, but he was influenced by the light, and at that point changed his artworks. I mean, the work that you made in India, as opposed to the work that you made at the Derby University. Did anything of India sort of influence you, the environment or the light of India or the sounds? Because the sounds are different.
Yeah.
The light and everything.
Yeah, I think the sounds definitely, because I was working with birds that I wasn't familiar with the sounds of the birds and the animals because I'm sort of running around. So yeah, the environment was different, the language was different, yeah, culturally, and it was hot. And although I'd done some of the work in the summer in England, which was quite hot, it was quite a hot thing, but it was nice and hot. But the light that you mentioned, I hadn't really sort of thought about that, but I could have chosen an inside area. I could have chosen windows actually, but I didn't. But I think perhaps the light reflecting on the mirrors, I hadn't really thought about it until just now actually. And actually placing the sellotape on today, it dulled it down a little. So that it wasn't quite as bright and man-made, sort of this intervention, site-specific intervention. Possibly was something that I hadn't really contemplated whilst I was doing it as being a light. But yeah, the sound definitely. I've got the videos, which I hope will be part of the exhibition Winter Narratives at Artcore sometime in the future, because it was postponed this April for obvious reasons. And I'm really looking forward to actually listening to this again. And everyone was very positive for it. We went to lots of exhibitions, we went to university, we were given a lot of experience.
Well, you were very busy indeed.
I was.
But I'm interested in the light of your work, which is basically your work, because having this light,
yeah, it's just like mirrored tiles on a concrete structure.
But you consider the light photo.
I'm not sure if sometimes when you make decisions, you don't always know what decisions you're making. I mean, obviously I was in the light, the sunlight, it was very bright, I was outside, so that was quite different. But I think that's fine for artists to not always know exactly why they're doing something. It's fine.
I like the sort of duality of it. There's always a reflection of the work in India, but there's a reflection. Down the light shone through
it. But it was different.
Yeah, that's
That's something to ponder on. I've still got quite a lot of reflecting to do on it, to be honest. I haven't fully reflected on everything I experienced there.
Is it a place you go back to maybe continue the work that you're making now, or would you extend that and take that to other countries? Do you see yourself travelling to other countries to do similar work?
It'd be interesting to go back to India and see how that work looks, or what has happened to it.
Is it still there?
It's still there. I didn't actually remove it. That is something I didn't actually mention. I normally, I normally remove work. Of everything I do, I remove it after I've done it. But on this occasion, I left that. So I mean, that's something that would be quite interesting to go back, perhaps in a few years' time, and see, when it's in the rainy season, the water's lifted it and what's happened, and has it transferred any of the marks of the structure. That's just something I thought about. I deliberately wanted to leave it there. I also thought when the exhibition, it might be something that could be a live feed. perhaps. So it would be good if it's. And I did ask, is it all right if I leave that? And the part was quite happy to have it at Heiner's farm.
Oh, that's lovely. Great. So your experience residency in India that moved forward into the UK with another residency. You've got an exhibition, Artcore, but it's cancelled obviously because of the situation.
Yes, that's right.
So it's continued into this country,
and that's for all of the.
That's the Indian family.
Yeah, so for all of the artists.
Okay, so you had another a graduate residency with Artcore
Well, okay, yeah, it was quite a full-on busy time. So what I did for that, I'm conscious that it's almost not possible, so I'm going to talk back. She said, what I did for that residency is I could have easily gone in. I could have gone in, and the windows are amazing at Artcore. They're art windows. I had my eye on those windows.
It's a nice place.
But I decided that I wanted the challenge. When you do a residency, I think it's quite nice sometimes to do something a little bit different. So, or to try to do something, extend your practice. So what I did I started off with my remnants of the sellotape and carbon paper, so strips of sellotape, big ball actually, that I've got lots of, because there was a lot of, about 2,350 metres came off of those windows.
Wow.
Biblically, because we took it down. So I didn't want, it was their remnants of the process.
So you reused those?
I wanted to use, I couldn't use all of it, but I wanted to see what I could do with them. And so what I did was, I used small pieces and I placed them on slides. And I did that for 80 slides. And then I used one of the circular projectors, carousel, alongside a running video. And that's what I exhibited for the residency. So
it's another progression. There's three progressions. You've got window displays at university, then in India you worked with mirrors, and then in this one you worked with film, but like projecting slide film. And what was it, moving film, or was it static?
This was static film, but it was something in my proposal that I was interested in looking at, but I didn't quite bottom that on this residency. It's still something on my hit list really. And this trying to take the remnants and trying to expand and extend the process, I think that's something that really interests me in producing when I'm doing my artwork. So and also it's taken me into a slightly different realm of digital, possibly producing digital work.
Oh, okay. It's very interesting. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Right, it's lockdown. What have you been doing during this time?
Lockdown. Well, I've taken some time out really to reflect, and also when I did my residency, I kind of thought to myself, I'll have a little break in February, a few weeks off, and then none of us realised it was going to turn into a bit of a longer time off. But I don't feel too, I haven't done lots and lots of creative artwork, but I think that's fine. I think everyone can, I don't beat myself up about that, because even doing, like doing this today, and looking back through your journals, and just looking back at previous work, photographs, they can all start to, my ideas can start to emerge and generate and motivation for a specific project. And maybe that's something I'm going to, I've got other things I'd like to do, like my website needs updating, I've got absolutely no excuse, I need to get that updated. So there's things like that. And obviously, you know what it's like, there's always things that you put on. So this has been a bit of a time to catch up with some of those things.
Okay, well,
what next?
What next with Jenny Bramley?
Well, I think I'm just following on from just looking at thinking what activities. I've been a little bit reluctant to go into the online sort of arena, but obviously that might be something that I just. It's a reluctance, not a definite reluctance, just a reluctance right now. But now I'm starting to think, actually, if the lockdown and the situation is going to carry on, and there's not going to be that much movement, not that many opportunities, then obviously online exhibitions, exhibitions and residencies would be something that I might be interested in.
Yeah, of course it's difficult. The lockdown situation is not trying like international
Yeah, I mean that would be really nice. I mean obviously that would be that's not something a lot of people are.
Yeah, it's restricted time. Well, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
I think that's that. I think. Anything you'd like to say?
I'm wondering if there are any questions, but I can't quite tell from them. I don't know if there are any questions at all. Maybe I should just have a quick look. So I'm sorry about this. This could take some time.
We have a Harry.
During the course of the day, and I'll go more focus on. I can't see any questions.
Okay.
But I feel like I've had enough. I think we've done quite a good job there with covering that aspect. And I know that I know particularly in this sort of artist talk, I often click on one and think, oh gosh, I haven't really got time to watch that right now, and I might watch it later. So obviously, if I'll share it on my own Facebook page if anyone's got any further questions, or I'll try and put some pictures on there if anyone wants to have a look at them. Thank you very much, Clay.
Well, thank you.
The boys have been angelic.
They have.
Okay.
But normally they aren't.
So thanks for having us,
Yeah.
and hope to see you in the real world soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Take care.